And torrential rain is bringing flooding to parts of the Illawarra, Sydney and Hunter regions. Hundreds of millimetres has already fallen and there's still more to come. Christy Lloyd is at Camden and joins us now. Christy, what is the situation like where you are?
Well, we've just started to see the rain come down again, Janie, after a brief break in that wet weather. There was even some pockets of blue sky, but unfortunately the worst is not over yet, and we are expecting to see that rain continuing throughout today into tomorrow, possibly even into Tuesday and early next week. We've actually just had to move a little bit further up the road where we are here because the water levels are continuing to rise here at Camden, where moderate flooding is currently occurring along the Nepean River. A little bit further from where we are, there's a number of SES crews currently assisting a number of residents whose homes are starting to become inundated. Just a short time ago, a number of SES crews drove past us here. We had the police going over. We've got choppers overhead at the moment. There's currently 100 ADF personnel and 2 helicopters on standby to assist with the situation at the moment. Now, we also have major flooding currently occurring along the Hawkesbury River at North Richmond, and major flooding occurring at Menangle, where the river level rose quite significantly yesterday and has already exceeded the flood height that we saw earlier this year in March. Now, unfortunately, because of the previous floods that we've seen in the last couple of months, the catchments are already saturated, and as we heard a little bit earlier from the Minister for Emergency Services, Steph Cook, this water just has nowhere to go.
Our storages are already full right across the board. Our landscapes are saturated, our river systems, our channels, they're all full. There's not a lot of places for this water to go, especially if it falls in large amounts in a very short space of time.
Now, we've already seen hundreds of millimetres falling across the Illawarra, the Greater Sydney and Hunter region, and we are expecting that heavy rain to continue. There's currently a severe weather warning in place for the threat of further heavy rain, but also damaging winds. We've seen that east coast low develop and is sitting off the New South Wales coastline at the moment. That's generating heavy rain, but it's also starting to see those winds picking up at the moment, in particular for coastal areas. That's where we could see damaging wind gusts, and given the amount of rain that we have seen recently, that is going to bring a threat of trees coming down, potentially on power lines, and it's likely that we will see power outages as a result. We also have a damaging surf warning in place at the moment for coastal regions between the Hunter coast and down to the Sydney coast. Now, authorities are urging that even though it is the weekend and unfortunately it is the school holidays, this is not the time to be travelling on the roads.
It's really not the time to travel if you are in those areas that are impacted. We're expecting the worst of this weather system to hit over the next 24 hours, but the current models are suggesting that it will linger into Tuesday. And so whilst I absolutely accept that it couldn't come at a worse time for a lot of people and a lot of families, at the end of the day, we want everyone to be safe.
As we just heard, we are expecting this wet weather to stick around. The waters will continue to rise throughout today, potentially into the start of next week as well. So the advice is to stay off the roads, and of course, if it's flooded, forget it.
Yes, a dangerous situation and unfolding. Thanks very much, Christy Lloyd, live in Sydney.